Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Hanrix. I had an amazing time talking to Whitney. Thank you so much, Whitney, for sitting down with me at 10 a.m. It was amazing.
Good thing we're both on the East Coast, because this would be really bad if you're... That's really funny. Okay, so we are with Miami-based DJ and producer Hanrix. Talk to us about coming to Atlantic City to the Borgata. Have you ever been to Atlantic City before?
I have. I actually played there at MIXX before. Atlantic City is a fun place to play at. You know, it's a little different environment. It's like how I say, it's a Vegas environment to me. Yeah. But it's always a fun show.
That's true. Do you gamble? Do you want any food there? Like, is there anything that you like to do when you're in Atlantic City?
I have residency in Vegas too, and I don't gamble there either. And it's weird because, like, I'm always there. So you would think that I would, gamble once in a while. The most I'll do is like $20, if that.
Okay.
But I'm glad I don't do it because, it can be very addicting.
Yes.
I guess I like my money way too much because
It's so true. Oh my gosh. It's, some people are like, listen, I make my money. It's hard earned. I'm not gambling it. Some people are like, listen, you only get to gamble every so often, especially if you're from Miami.
It's just, some people like it, Some people are good at it. Yeah. I don't think I'm good at it, so.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe we'll teach you next time you're here. Yeah. So you're part of their winter music series. Is there anybody as part of that series that you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm working with them on this?
The thing is, I've checked out some of the things, but I haven't really gotten deep into the acts that are playing there yet.
Okay.
I mean, I saw there was a few big acts there. I believe A-Track was there.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a few others that I remember, but yeah, some pretty big names in there, and it's always always good to be a part of that. Mm-hmm. To be included in that, it's amazing.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I know. It's so funny because I know you put out that single Light, and I know it was kind of Daft Punk-esque. And I thought that was really cool because, first of all, just to be honest, I'm not the biggest EDM fan. I don't go see the DJs and everything, but I like it. I mean, I like it. I don't want love, but I like it. And I like what you do. And it was funny when I was reading about you and it said Daft Punk. I'm like, wow, because I loved that song Around the World. When that came out, I don't know, something about that just resonated with me, and I just loved it. And everybody thought I was crazy at that time. And now it's funny that you say that. I feel like we're similar in age, so it's probably one of those things,
a lot of the new EDM crowd hasn't been able to experience that.
Right.
They've heard Daft Punk, but they haven't really gotten into that. So in my mind, I was kind of like, they did this new album, which was an amazing album, but it wasn't that old sound that everyone fell in love with in the beginning, that made them that Daft Punk. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I just want to go ahead and try something with it. Do my own flavor to it in the 2014 or 15 time, and see where it goes. And it had some pretty good response. Fedde Le Grand picked it up for Flamingo.
I know. How amazing is that?
It's great. Yeah, I'm glad that he's supporting it.
Yeah, he's not a resident, but he's been to Atlantic City many times. I've actually interviewed him as well. There's a lot of great people who play there. Do you get inspiration from Fedde Le Grand, or some of the other bigger DJs?
Yeah, definitely. I think you can always learn from the bigger guys. You always get inspiration from what they do. If they come out with a new sound. It's always nice when some new guys try something different, that's something new.
Yeah.
Because it's weird because if you're smaller and you try something new, mm-hmm. It's a little harder sometimes for people to catch on.
Right. That's what I would think.
Yeah, because people are kind of like, yeah, this is not what's really in. Now, if you have one of those big guys that try something completely different, they're like, whoa, what's going, this is different.
Right.
And it's good, to get inspiration off that.
Mm-hmm.
Fedde's been always very innovative and stuff, so yeah, definitely do.
Yeah, I mean, and they have a reputation, so if they throw something out there that's new, people are like, damn, what's that? If you're trying it, they're like, dude, don't start that. I don't know, but you never know.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue with trying to do something new in the beginning, when you're, coming up and stuff like that, is getting the people to accept it,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Well, the big guys already have that following.
It's true, exactly. And speaking of that, I've interviewed many DJs, and it's interesting because I feel like with the EDM genre, people will go to you because they like you and your unique sounds and kind of your collaborations, versus if people go to a nightclub, they just want to hear top 40 hits and just dance and have fun. So there's a little bit of a different crowd at both of the places. Mm-hmm. Do you want to try to mix that, or do you like just having that crowd specifically coming for EDM?
I like both. I've learned to like both.
Okay.
Actually, recently, you know, like in the last year or so, it's I want to say a little bit over a year now because I've been trying different productions and not just EDM stuff, and I like that they come out for me. But I also like to play stuff that I like too.
Okay,
you know,
right.
It doesn't necessarily have to be EDM because I like so many different genres. You know, EDM is just one. It happens to be that I DJ EDM, which is my favorite, of course.
Right.
But I've been mixing a lot of new stuff too with like hip hop, rock. You know, different genres together. I have a song that I'm doing with like a sample of like Kanye with Daft Punk actually.
What? Okay.
And it's not the one that he put out. It's actually like a different thing, and just a mix of everything, and it comes out to be like a little bit rock and roll too with it. So like
cool.
Imagine Dragons mixed with it too. So it's a little different concept, but you know, I like that the people go for the DJ, but at the same time, I feel like, you know, if there's something that you like, go ahead and play, even if it's top 40. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
As long as you mix it in, you don't play, you know, just straight the original. If you want to do it in with something EDM,
right?
Just, you know, different.
Do you ever hear from the original artist saying, "Wow, I really like what you did when you mixed up my song"?
Yeah, actually, that happened this weekend.
Really? That's awesome. From who?
I had Gabriel Dresden. I actually I played the song As the Rush Comes that they did a remix back years ago. Tiesto did a remix of Motorcycle.
Okay.
As the Rush Comes. It's a trance song, and they put out the acapella. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I was in Vegas, and I do something live. It's a mix of live with acapella and an old song by Supermode, which is Axl and Steve Angello, and called Tell Me Why. And I did it live, and someone recorded it. And when they recorded it, they sent it out to them, and they were like, "Oh my God, this guy just, you know, he played this," and they were like, "Who is this?"
Oh wow,
mix.
That's so cool.
They hit me up on Twitter, and they were like, "Whoa," Hanrix, like, "What is this? And can you please send it to me?" And yeah, crazy.
So that must feel good, especially because it's your own artsy, you know, version of something.
Yeah.
And now going back to Kanye, what do you think about the whole thing at the Grammys?
I think people are blowing it up, honestly. I know he has a very arrogant, you know, but that's his persona. Right. You know, I mean, it's a persona that what people don't understand is that, you know, an artist as a person, if you talk to him one-on-one, sometimes isn't what you see on TV.
Okay, right.
You know, all these artists have personas. You know, look at Tupac. You know, like Tupac was this crazy, but everyone thinks he's the #1 rapper of all time. It's just controversy, and when people, you know, he vibes off that. He actually had an interview before. And they were, I think it was an Eon Live. I don't know if you saw the red carpet thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they asked him, "Why are you so serious on your picture with Kim and John Legend or something?" He's like, "That's my look.
Yeah.
I put it." So he knows that's his thing.
Right.
You get?
Yeah, and he definitely plays off it. That's for sure.
Yeah. So he's a little arrogant. He is arrogant, you know. But his music, to me, he's my favorite rapper as far as, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, I think when it comes to music, he's genius. He knows the sampling. He knows everything production wise.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's good to hear. It's good to know, and I like the fact that you try to incorporate some of the rap, some of the hip hop, and everything into the things that you're doing. Is there anybody right now, like, did you ever work with Tiesto, you know, or some of the other big DJs out there, EDM DJs? Yeah,
I actually, you know, Tiesto, I did a remix for him a while back for Love Comes Again.
Okay.
And it was like a new thing for a new, like, you know, Love Comes Again came out years ago, and I did it with, the remix was like a year and a half, 2 ago, I did that.
Okay.
Steve Angello, when the song right now, the Underground that I did, he actually helped me with some stuff in it. He told me, like, you know, do this, do that, you know, change this around. This could be better here. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then, you know, one of the other things I feel like when I talk to DJs now, and I know I actually was reading some of your interviews, and you were talking about how, you know, dropping a beat wasn't always like a thing. You know what I mean? Nowadays, it's like, wow, you know, what can you do? How can you get things going? Do you feel that, because nowadays DJs don't get, I feel anyway, at least from the local perspective, that DJs aren't getting paid enough for what they do. It used to be you got all this money to get the crowd going. Now it's like they're a dime a dozen. Everybody tries to be a DJ. Now they don't pay enough. How do you think a fair pay scale would be?
The thing is, it's some people get paid, some DJs get paid more than they should.
Okay.
And then some, you know, drop down and don't get paid enough.
Okay.
That's exactly what you just said. You know, it became everyone is a DJ. So now it's like, all right, let's pick these major ones. You have like guys like Calvin Harris, from what I heard, is getting $400,000 for an hour and a half at Vegas.
Yes. Crazy! I know!
You have those exaggerations, and then you also have, you know, well, I'm not saying Calvin exaggerated. Let me restate that, because the guy is a genius with music. He's a monster.
Okay.
Number one hits, you know, he tied Michael Jackson with his album. There's many number one hits.
I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to say yeah, but I think you're right, yes.
Yeah, he tied Michael Jackson, Katy Perry.
Wow.
And the most number one hits, so he deserves it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some DJs that do get overpaid. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what a fair scale is.
Okay.
But
yeah,
it can be worked.
Someone said $1 a head. That's what you should get paid, $1 a head, right?
It's not bad, yeah. You bring to the club, right? But if you're doing a smaller venue,
yeah, that's true. I'm like, $30, dude. Here you go, thanks. You know, yeah, I guess maybe there'll be a bottom, number there. That's so funny. So talk to us about you personally. Like, is there anything going on in the news right now where you're like really passionate about?
I'm really, a lot of things going on. The whole ISIS thing to me is it's very sad. How human beings can get to the point, which have no love, compassion for anything but themselves, and brainwash other people. It's a little sickening. It's hard for me to say something like that. I feel like, it's to say something, but I feel like people they should be just wiped off, face of this earth, because you get people that have nothing to do with stuff sometimes, and you just commit, genocide on kids, overseas. From what I've seen, stuff, in Iraq, putting kids in the mountains and far away mountains, and they can't come back and they starve to death. This is type of stuff that needs to end in this world. And I wish I can do more, to help. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Do you work with any charities right now?
I'm trying to. I actually want to open up my own thing. I don't necessarily think I want to publicize it to everyone, because I feel like sometimes charity should be more to yourself, and it's something you do for yourself and for other people, and not for other people to know.
Right.
Let's see what happens.
Also, don't you want people to donate to it, and that way you can help your cause and bring it to a bigger scale? So
definitely. I feel like I don't know what the future's gonna be like, but I feel like if I maybe do a charity, I'll be behind the scenes.
Okay.
Instead of full front, this is what I do for the world.
Yeah.
It depends, but it also, my DJ thing can help that.
100%. That's why you would do it. I mean, in a way, I understand trying to be humble, but at the same time, you have to use your celebrity as a way to raise funds. If it's something you're what are you passionate about? What would your charity be for?
No, I haven't really sat down and I want to help. What's the cause of what's going on? With everything. Also, I feel like a lot of things in Africa right now aren't publicized enough, and not to take away from anything that's happened recently with major cities. I felt like in Paris, there was, like I said, it's not taken away from anything in Paris. I believe that the coverage should have been that much, what it was, CNN, everywhere worldwide. But at that same week, it was a 400 people genocide in Nigeria, I believe. It was in Nigeria. And then I was watching CNN, and it got literally 7 seconds of coverage. It was, Paris, this is happening in Paris, this happened in Paris. By the way, this also happened in Nigeria.
Yeah, and then it went back to Paris.
Went back to the thing. I feel like there should be more to it, and people should know what's going on. So I know this happens all the time in these countries, and I get it, why the media, went.
It's unfortunate, it's, you're watching all these media outlets, and, they have their agenda. Everybody has their agenda of what they want to put out there. And unfortunately, even when we watch commentators, we listen to them as if they're the expert on what's happening, and they're not there on the front lines. They don't know what's happening. So, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, but I understand what you're saying, because there's a lot of things that are happening in the world right now, and we don't know about it. We only know what they want us to know.
Exactly.
So, I have family in Israel, and from when you watch the news, you think, oh my God, are they okay? Everybody's dying. But meanwhile, everybody's living. It's great. There's one little area where something's happening, but the news takes it so out of proportion. So you really you don't know. You have to kind of get that grain and then do your research to figure out what's really going on.
Exactly. People don't know how to do that research. That's the thing,
That's the thing, yeah.
My friend Darman, I did this track Reaper that came out on Salt and the Shepherd's label. He's Israeli too, so he tells me this all the time. I mean, his family is. I go to his house and his parents barely speak English to me. It's Hebrew and,
That's cool.
and I can't speak it though. So he has to translate.
I was just gonna say, what? You know Hebrew?
I'm Brazilian.
That's cool. That's great. Yeah. Did you grow up with humble roots?
It was middle class. I'm not gonna say it was low class, but it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I had to do, I had to get by, and I had to do what I had to do to get by in certain things.
Right.
My parents were they split when I was about 18. But it was. They're still thinking my dad was still, but my dad moved to Brazil, so I had to kind of take care of my brother here, which was younger, and he was going into high school.
Okay.
I had to do to help. I always had to do something to help out the family, But can't say I lived bad though.
Okay, but at the same time though, you really knew you wanted to do this type of work, and you made something of it, and now look at you. I mean, in the scheme of things, if you're putting together beats, like when I hear the music, I feel like, oh, it sounds similar. I feel like all the songs, I don't know, sound similar. But I'm not saying that, I'm just saying it as, I guess, naive. I don't really know, but I know when it's a good beat and I want to dance, because I'm a dancer. Like, I totally am all about dancing. But, I don't know, like how there's so many people who have access to GarageBand on, that comes with the Mac, how come when they put together a beat, they're not famous? How did you get to that point where you put together all these cool beats and you were, doing your thing, and all of a sudden now you're with like Tiesto and Fedde Le Grand? You know what I mean?
It's a long process. My story with, as far as dance, how I started as a DJ, it started way back. It wasn't recently, I didn't want to start DJing and producing music until actually a little later than most people nowadays. Okay. I got out of high school. I tried to hustle to make money and this and that to keep and then I did a lot of mortgage stuff.
Me
real estate.
Too.
Yeah.
I was in the mortgage business. That's
me too. Yeah.
Really? That's so funny.
The 2008 thing crashed. The crash was just like
Totally. Yeah.
It went from here to here real quick, and
then I got into entertainment, so that's probably what
So maybe we have the same story.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
When that ended, I was, I had already started going to like the after hours clubs, the Space, the Nocturnals here in Miami.
Okay.
And I was just, amazed by how everybody came out to see these DJs. Before, when I used to go to these clubs, it wasn't about the DJ. Like you said, it was about the, going to the top 40 of music, and that was it. So I see these things, everyone came out, and I started liking. Well, actually, what really got me into it, I always liked dance music. It was a 2006 concert by Tiesto in the Hard Rock over there in Fort Lauderdale. I went, and I was just like blown away. And then I started going to the dance clubs, in Miami, which was more underground.
Okay.
So eventually, after I stopped with the mortgage stuff, real estate, and I started doing DJing. Little by little, and then less than a year later, I told myself that if one day if I want to get somewhere, I have to start making music. DJing is only gonna get you somewhere because everyone is a DJ now. And so that's what happened. I started in my room. I had a DJ equipment in my room. I practiced for a year before my first show, which my first show was about 5 people in it. It was all my friends. My first club show, yeah.
I was thinking of doing that here, where I have the on iMovie, it has all those sound effects, and you have all the applause and things. I was thinking of like making it like I have all these people here watching me do a talk show. It would be pretty funny. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now it's been 8-9 years now, and I've just been practicing my craft. I'm still not perfect at it. I still learn every day. And. Yeah, it takes time. Some people get it in a year. Some people take longer. So, these DJs, these producers out there that get discouraged after, a certain time, don't do it. It took me a very long time,
I mean, yeah, and you got in at the right time. Because now I feel like it's saturated a little bit, but you've already kind of showed your roots and you've been doing it. Do you have a thing, like, how Steve Aoki throws a cake and, Avicii comes out, it was some crazy thing. I mean, I went to an Avicii concert. My husband and I were like, what are we doing? It was fun, though. We actually did have a really good time. But do you have a thing? What sets you apart?
I don't. I guess people always say what sets me apart is I always have a bottle of Black Label, and I'm always drinking it off the bottle, I guess. Okay. I drink it straight off the bottle, and everyone's just like, what is wrong with you? And I don't know. I guess it's been.
That's your thing. Okay.
Everyone's like, I get to like Vegas or anywhere, and they're already like, oh, here you go. And I'm like, all right.
You're like, this is awesome.
But that's it. I don't really have many props or anything like that. I feel like the music should speak for itself. Not necessarily saying that whatever everyone else, it's an entertainment in the end of the day. The more you entertain the crowd, the better, you know. And everyone has their own thing,
right?
You know,
it's true.
And you know, Laidback Luke always says he's one of my mentors. You know, he always tells me, he's like, let the music speak for itself. You know, he doesn't get on the mic. He will not get on the mic.
Wow.
You know, yeah, he will not. So, you know, I get on the mic, but I like it. You know, that's my thing.
That's cool. I think people like that though. I mean, if they want to hear the music, but they're going for you as well. Like they want to hear you. At least be like, "What's up, everybody?" Like they want to hear you too, and that's why they're there. And talking about the crowd, just going to that real fast. I noticed that. I mean, and I don't know if it's different everywhere, but I feel like with the EDM scene, and this is, I don't even know how to phrase this question. Are people typically like on drugs? Is that like a thing? You know, like what's up with that? Because it seemed like everyone was spacing out, and one guy like fainted in front of us, and we were like, "Oh my god, what are we doing here?" Why is that? You know, is it just because the music puts you in this trance?
Well, that started in the '90s. You know. With the happy hardcore stuff like that, it was, you know, the smiley face was a thing for ecstasy, you know, back then. And what happened was, you know, with trance, the faster beat, I guess when the whole drugs thing, you know, with the ecstasy, you know, those faster beats make you feel euphoric. And then, you know, it slowly started getting, you know, into the mainstream. Once it became more mainstream, the EDM thing, people thought that you can't listen to this, you know, without the drug.
Right.
So that's how you get into it. And they're like, okay, the first experience, let's say at Ultra or something like that. We're going to go to Ultra for the first time. I've never been to it. Okay, take the ecstasy pill.
Yeah.
It feels so much better. Yeah. And they take it, and I'm not saying it doesn't make them feel better, but, you know, it's still a drug, and, you know, it can kill you.
Exactly.
You know?
It's
it
not
kill
necessary.
You know?
Exactly.
And after a while, I've come to notice that a lot of these people that do this in the beginning realize that they don't need that after. Okay. They didn't need it this whole time.
Right.
I mean, but I think it derives from that. It derives from, you know, they're going to their first rave, and then people are saying like, "Oh, this is going to be amazing. Now, if you take this is going to be 10 times better."
It. Right.
Yeah. And you go to another show that you don't need drugs or something like that. You know.
Right.
So they take it. They're like, "Oh my god, I love this," and then they can't listen to the music in the beginning without it, and then that's how it becomes this whole, you know, snowball effect. But eventually, from what I've seen, a lot of people get out of it. You know?
Yeah. No, that's cool. And also, it speaks for itself. If it's dark in there and you're hearing all the beats, you're kind of like grooving to it, and you know, you're gonna feel it. You don't need to take drugs. That's my point. Is you don't need to take drugs to go see.
You do not need to do it. You do not need to.
Cool. Anything else? Is there anything else you want? Do you have any hidden talents?
Hidden talents? I don't know. I guess I was a pretty good. That's not really a talent. I don't know. Pretty good basketball player in high school. I played basketball and soccer throughout high school, but I haven't done that in so long.
Okay.
That's not even a talent anymore.
Okay. Do you do any good impressions? Any celebrity impressions?
I don't know what impressions. I guess, you know, I am a jokester though. I am like, yeah. My friends are always like, man, like you are too much. I don't know if I do impressions much. Sometimes Kevin Hart's a funny one. You know, sometimes I don't know if I that good at it. His jokes are funny.
Do one. I think do an impression.
Oh man, I don't know if I'm that good right now. I gotta think about it. Maybe we do another call and we'll
when it's not like 10 o'clock in the morning and we're like, well, I gotta do Kevin Hart. Okay. Do you have a celebrity crush? Is there anybody that you're like, wow?
Kate Beckinsale.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
You know, that's
my girlfriend always tells me, she's like, oh, she sees it on TV, she's like, oh, there's your love.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Well,
where can we find more information about you specifically?
Okay, my Twitter is it's www.twitter.com at Hanrix Music. Okay. Instagram is Hanrix Music too. Facebook as well. You know, Hanrix Music. The only thing that's different is my SoundCloud, which I got deleted a while back. So it's Hanrix Jams now. JAMS. So that's the only thing that's different. Okay. But everything's Hanrix Music.
Awesome. Great. Well, we welcome you to Atlantic City. Looking forward to seeing you at the Borgata coming up soon.
Thank you so much.